On October 24th, the sweet aroma of cotton candy blew through campus. Pink ribbons could be spotted around the Greek trees, walls, shirts, and book bags of many students. The campus was covered in pink, celebrating the Pink Out. The all-day event was a project of the College of Arts and Sciences Student Council Service. Students were asked to dress in all shades of pink for the day to show their support for the fight against breast cancer. The motto for the day: if you care, be aware.
I know it seems like a really scary thing to a lot of people. They think only older women have it, but we really just want young women on Howard's campus to be aware of what's going on.
Students embraced the idea of breast cancer awareness by sharing information and donating to the cause. The event raised an impressive amount of funds.
We decided to do this event to raise awareness about breast cancer within the African American community. All of our proceeds are going to the Susan G. Komen Foundation for Breast Cancer, and we're selling cupcakes, cotton candy, cookies, as well as ribbons to raise money.
In the evening, the council also hosted a vigil at the Blackburn Fountain. Students were encouraged to gather and to speak the names of those who've overcome breast cancer. The mood of the day was not of sadness, but of faith, service, pink, and hope, and to spread breast cancer awareness within the African American community. I'm Takira Boston, reporting for Spotlight News.
The Spotlight Network is the only student-run network here on the campuses of Howard University.
Spotlight?
Spotlight Network, yep. It's an on-campus student-run.
Just happens to be called Spotlight?
Bringing coverage relevant to you, the student. In a world of 100-plus TV channels, the one place to enjoy commercial-free programming is your local public broadcasting station. But one presidential candidate has threatened to eliminate federal funding to PBS if elected, which would seriously affect local PBS stations.
I thought about the workers that I work with that work at WHUT. It's a lot of jobs that's going to be lost. A lot of educational TV is not going to exist anymore. So I felt that the kids in the next generation are not going to have the same advantages we did.
The government contributes about 15% of the funds necessary to make public broadcasting possible, and that is less than 1% of the actual total federal budget.
The PBS is not a station. It's not a one channel. It's a system that is created that works to help a lot of stations, a lot of communities, really.
In a time where television programming has become more raunchy and violent, PBS continues to offer an alternative with educational family programming with a purpose.
PBS funding is for an educational part of the education track that is in America. So I think it would be devastating if government funding were to leave public television.
PBS recently issued a statement saying they're disappointed in becoming a political target and urge viewers and politicians to remember the mission of public broadcasting, harnessing the power of media for the good of every citizen, regardless of where they live or their ability to pay. PBS has had a profound impact on American viewers for generations. Even through tough economic instability, the service still strives to remain a viable choice in today's American broadcasting. Reporting from WHUT, I'm Malia Posey with Spotlight Network.
President Barack Obama and Governor Mitt Romney have given their opinion about the increasing cost of higher education. Both candidates agreed there needs to be an education reform. President Obama adjusted student loan repayments so that they are not more than 10% of your income. The president's education plan is directly related to government assistance. He modified the American Opportunity Tax Credit so that 4 years of college could be claimed instead of 2.
I definitely think, the government should aid in financial aid because, they say that children are their future. Well, if we need education, why wouldn't you invest in that?
Governor Romney believes the private sector can help with the rising cost of tuition.
That in the last few years, the loan program has shifted almost entirely to the government, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's a good thing. I think that when you have private sector loans, you're talking about much higher interest rates.
Earlier this year on the campaign trail, Governor Romney also suggested young people borrow money from their parents to pay for their education.
My mom has no money for me to borrow. I have another sister in college right now. It's her first year. And then my other sister is going to college in the next 2 years, so she doesn't have any money to give me. And she's still paying off her college loans from when she graduated and went to school.
Recent polls show 51% of voters ages 18 through 29 support President Obama, while 34% support Governor Romney. For Spotlight News, I'm Brianna Pitts.
63-year-old Gladys Nelson is one of more than 100,000 undocumented Haitian immigrants who benefits from TPS, temporary protected status for visitors whose home countries can't take care of them. The Obama administration granted TPS to undocumented Haitian immigrants after the 2010 earthquake. Nelson, who held a tourist visa at the time, had to prove she lost her house in the disaster.
Mais avant de sot Haïti, m'de fè photo Kaila, yo te wè Kaila krasé vraiment. Donc m'bat kabrit la dan ni.
The director of communications at the Center for Immigration Studies, Marguerite Telford, says TPS helps undocumented immigrants.
This TPS program, it gives kind of a de facto amnesty to a group that has either there's been some type of civil strife or earthquake or.
Nelson, who works as a live-in nanny, sent her paycheck to her daughter and granddaughter in Haiti. She hopes to become a permanent resident to bring her family to the U.S. Falls Church Republican Mark Rhodes says the party supports legal immigration.
Well, I think most Republicans and the Republican National Platform are for legal immigration.
Gladys Nelson, who wishes she had a vote in this election season, says she'd vote for President Obama because his administration has already extended the TPS program twice.
This election will determine if the next administration will renew the program. For Spotlight News, I'm Karali St. Louis.
Look for us on campus, on the web at husln4.com. Follow us on Facebook and like our page. Check us out on Twitter at SLNTV_4. By the way, have you been spotted by Spotlight?
Throughout some black churches, President Obama's Christian morals have been questioned since he publicly became a supporter of same-sex marriages. Black church members who cheered his name 4 years ago now say he may have taken the black vote for granted.
It does play a role, just like any other thing that he has an opinion on. So it plays a role. Will it make me not vote for him, or will it make me vote for him? We'll see when I go into the box on the 4th.
At the local Ebenezer African Methodist Episcopal Church here in Fort Washington, Maryland, Reverend Vernon Ware shares his personal beliefs on the issue.
My viewpoint is that God has ordained marriage to be between a man and a woman. I do believe that God loves all of us and God loves all of his children.
Despite what Ware thinks, the church has a different stance and will not perform same-sex marriages. Other church leaders, such as Reverend Marcus Washington, supports the president regardless of his decision to stand behind the gay community.
I definitely support President Obama, his efforts, his policies, because they promote what I think a community and a holistic approach to healing not only our economy, but also putting us in a better viewpoint and perspective on an international level.
The one thing that is important to me as a minister is that he is a family man. And so that's one thing that you have seen all throughout his presidency in terms of his love for his wife, his love for his kids, his involvement in their lives. And I think just seeing that is probably a great thing.
All said and done, we want to say thank you.
President Obama presents himself as a family man, but that may not be enough to sway the black vote, particularly due to his stance on same-sex marriages. I'm Jasmine Thomas, reporter for Spotlight News.
Hey, I know you're sitting at home. You wondering to yourself, I need to go back to school. I need to get my life together. Get off the couch. Change yourself. Go to HU Spotlight. Watch it. Get in your dorm room. You ain't doing nothing. Your girlfriend don't like you. Your roommates don't like you. Your boyfriend don't want you. Nobody wants you. That's why you need to watch the show. Get off your butt. Change the channel. Turn it on in your dorm. It's free. What else y'all want?
Members of the Muslim American community watched intently Monday night as presidential hopefuls Mitt Romney and President Obama faced off in the final debate of the election season. The debate, which focused on foreign policy, was especially important to the Muslim American community as war and social unrest continues in the Middle East. The Muslim Public Action Committee, also known as IMPACT, organized the watch party as a part of their election season campaign called My Faith, My Vote, My Future. The campaign encourages Muslim Americans to be educated and empowered voters. Yasmin Hussein serves as IMPACT's Young Leaders Program Coordinator.
But what's great about it is that all of our marketing was through social media, through Facebook and Twitter. We didn't do any other form of marketing for the event, and as you witnessed and as everyone else witnessed, we were able to get a decent crowd of around 80 people out here.
While Governor Romney and President Obama laid out their foreign policy plans, guests not only shared comments with their neighbor, but tweeted throughout the debate. Twitter has evolved into a virtual arena for water cooler conversation this election season. Major networks such as CNN use hashtags to keep up with the viewer reactions to the candidates' performance. Hamad Chippa supports President Obama and was pleased with his performance during the final debate.
He both had a stronger personality and he had the facts on his side, and he was able to do it without seeming like a bully.
Tonight's debate is a chance for both candidates to leave a lasting impression on voters before they head to the polls in 15 days. With Howard University News Service, I'm Jordan Dunn.
She says that while many Latinos agree that immigration policy is important, the candidates' positions on
President Barack Obama and Governor Mitt Romney have given their opinion about the increasing cost of higher education. Both candidates agreed there needs to be an education reform. President Obama adjusted student loan repayments so that they are not more than 10% of your income. The president's education plan is directly related to government assistance. He modified the American Opportunity Tax Credit so that 4 years of college could be claimed instead of 2.
I definitely think the government should aid in financial aid because they say that children are their future. Well, if we need education, why wouldn't you invest in that?
Governor Romney believes the private sector can help with the rising cost of tuition.
That in the last few years, the loan program has shifted almost entirely to the government, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's a good thing. I think that when you have private sector loans, you're talking about much higher interest rates.
Earlier this year on the campaign trail, Governor Romney also suggested young people borrow money from their parents to pay for their education.
My mom has no money for me to borrow. I have another sister in college right now, it's her first year. And then my other sister is going to college in the next 2 years, so she doesn't have any money to give me. And she's still paying off her college loans from when she graduated and went to school.
Recent polls show 51% of voters ages 18 through 29 support President Obama, while 34% support Governor Romney. For Spotlight News, I'm Brianna Pitts.
The National Council of La Raza, or NCLR, is the largest Latino civil rights and advocacy organization in the U.S. They provide the Latino perspective on civil rights, immigration, education, and employment status. This past March, NCLR launched a campaign where their goal was to encourage 180,000 Latinos to vote.
We ended up registering 90,000 voters this election, And actually we are in the midst of switching from the register to vote side of things to the get out the vote. And so we're working on events now to kind of make sure that our population is actually there on Election Day.
According to NCLR, in 2008, 67% of all Latino voters voted Democrat. In just a few days, we will see whether or not President Barack Obama will win their vote in this upcoming election. Some people, like Democrat supporter and D.C. native Deoria Davis, strongly thinks that Latinos should vote for Barack Obama.
You should vote because he kept you here. If not, I truly believe Mitt Romney gonna send you back. So, call is yours. Vote for Barack or go back to where you came from.
I believe that they're most likely going to vote for Obama just because he tries to help the people in this country, you know, and not just certain specific people.
I mean, it all comes down to outreach. Which party has done a better job of doing outreach to the Latino community? Obviously, it seems like Democrats have an advantage there. They tend to do stronger outreach efforts.